China's vast countryside is witnessing sweeping changes brought about by a group of innovative people. Their success is a strong indicator that a bright future lies ahead. In Henan province, these combine operators are among such dreamers.
一个人扶不算扶，大家扶起来，一个村的人扶了才可以。
In Zhongzhou, Sichuan province, agricultural managers have changed the face of the countryside.
我们是要通过自身的努力，然后给农村带来更多的东西。
This village in Boxing County, Shandong province, has eliminated poverty through online sales.
到了17年，营业额就过千万。
Smart technology and rice cultivation connects rural areas to cities.
更多的乡村都是打开的，拥抱着城市家庭能够待下来、住下来。
The passion and creativity of people in rural areas have transformed farm management and brought innovations to villages in the new era.
上，好，我看一下啊。你要拿就提起来。 在我们县来讲，我是第一批拥有的那种收割机技术，2台车过来8个师傅，效益还不错。我这个感觉到了，一个人扶不算扶，大家扶起来，一个村的人扶了才可以。
下一代肯定到漯河呀，漯河，
焦作，收完以后。
Most of the combine operators here were born at the beginning of China's period of reform and opening up. They learned their trade from Zhang Dasheng, whose longtime apprentice Dong Fuqiang is already the father of 2 children. Some years after Zhang Dasheng retired from his position as head of the interprovincial operation team, his team fell apart. Zhang Dasheng was so concerned about a lack of unity among his team members that he decided to go back to work and rebuild his team. Their hope is that their red clothes, signs and slogans will bring good fortune as they set off on an annual journey across half the country, bringing their services to local farmers.
最后啊，给大家再说，大家有啥事的，有啥纠纷的，需要配件的，下一步找活的，咱们咋转移，跟我联系。设，好了都设，可以，准备上车，出发，准备走。
The rest of the team goes first, while Zhang stays behind to study the route they travelled a long time ago and decide where he will join his team. Although he retired years ago, he's feeling confident as the country has made great progress in its efforts to create a new countryside.
事实上，这个新农村建设现在国家每年都有这么重视，也是一样很辉煌。随着中国的这个进展富强。 咱机械化程度越来越高，事实上呢，农村是大有希望的。
After a 4-hour ride in the dark, Dong Fuqiang arrives at their first stop, Donghong Town. Mr. Mao serves as the liaison between Dong Fuqiang's team and the local wheat farmers.
明天上午最低在8点以后9点左右开始下地收割。我们村没有收割机，依靠车山县的老伙计来给我们收割。 他们要不来，我说妹子全部塌到地下。
As usual, the team's accommodations consist of simple plastic sheets and blankets. Still, they hope that tonight will be the beginning of a fruitful year.
到这儿吧。哎，对。是我们多聊一些，来吧，咱全国吧。
When the team and the wheat farmers have settled on a unit price, the team's salesperson measures the area while the operator harvests. They get paid right after their work is done, a very simple process that is repeated with each wheat farmer. The salesperson is responsible for bringing in new clients, while the operator keeps the machine running.
这块的地都是收母的。啊，对，都收母，30亩。再打一个，这过来。
Their income depends on the crops they harvest. The closer together the fields are, the faster they can get the work done, so it's crucial to be organised. When Zhang Da-sheng was the head of the team, he would put everything in place in advance so the operator could focus.
转啥子？这再咋子转？这咋弄？换呢？啥子？没来的还？这看两个人过来收。他今天从那厂里来的那个。应该比较厚。厚吧？一会儿拿笔尖过来。喂？怎么了？啊？ 不讲是吧？有一个带断了，人家没带。你现在搁哪收啊？我在东湖，给那韩寨乡嘛。啊，上天东湖啊。2815的带。你洗2815两给咱换了是吧？啊。那中啊，你等等，我等会儿给你安排人。我让那个服务员找你说了吗？好，中，好。你稍等一会儿，好了，等你确定啊。
The slight mishap has kept Dong Fujiang's team idling for 2 hours. But if Zhang had been here, he would have solved the problem in 5 minutes.
过来吧！我的大奶水哪能快啊？啊？收得动吗？动。赶紧换了把营养搁满。100斤。嗯。咦，对。快点。18的丸子。好嘞。好。只要啥情况了，你及时打电话啊。好。啊，现在是疫情的，这作业今年都过去的比较严重，这个。好，换好了，快，开始走。好。
This little incident has convinced Zhang Da-sheng that he needs to join the team as soon as possible. There's a huge market in the vast wheat fields of Yongchuan district Chongqing for these combine operators. Qingfeng, where they've stayed for the past 2 days, is only one of 16 towns here. Zhang Da-sheng decides to stage his comeback by meeting his team here. As he expected, the little square is the centre of the town. Combines are lined up along the road, waiting for customers to show up, a situation that Zhang would not have allowed had he been the head of the team. The last thing Zhang wants is operators idling around instead of looking for opportunities to work.
哎，师傅，让水车。 哎，来我们的。来，
收稻谷啊，
收稻谷收啊，
就是公路边。
怎么称呼你师傅？
我姓谢。
谢。
因为1年才收一季，是不是？就全靠他们出来帮我们收的。
现在不跨区作业嘛，你。
好。今年又丰收了。
丰收了，今年赏好。
Although Zhang Dasheng works like the others, he's not concerned about the crops. He's looking for someone.
在前面嘛，他们家。
还在那个往里面。
走，咱们都过去上他们家去。你好，袁师傅。咱们这个村啊，现在有多少？
Zhang Dasheng is looking for the head of the village. As he sees it, the way to increase business in the village is by connecting with influential people like Mr. Yuan.
地块面积大的，就两大户把它承包走了。队长那样行不行？明年了，咱们把咱们的村里，我再过来找你，村里后咱们统一收，价钱统一，大家伙的费用不降低了吗？那行不行？
Following the visit, Mr. Yuan introduces him to the owner of a large grain farm.
你这真是师傅带头人。
我覆盖了4个乡镇。
4个乡镇，
这个都是我的
啊，这都是你的。
那边红高粱也是我的搞服务，只要是粮油类的，我都基本上搞。
就是粮食作物都是你的。
我都搞服务。
所以说咱们今天这个谈的就挺好，咱们以后呢就把它落实好，咱们大家伙抱成团，一会儿把这个农机具做好，咱们把本地的收完以后呢，你再帮助我们周边的去发展，
可以，这个
行吧，何老板，
我们合作在牵头来干这个事。
Due to climate differences between the south and the north in China, combine operators have to plan their routes according to crop growth stages. With thorough research and the necessary arrangements in place, Zhang Dasheng is ready to head to their next stop.
现在，你现在手里怎么样？啊？是不是在上午的地方？
地面，你把它面上次的画下去，画到起边去了，有气死。不着急吧。
Bad road conditions and the driver's carelessness caused the machine to flip on its side. But luckily, no one was injured.
我站这边了，我也没有注意那边那个梯子。
真拽，不可不得真拽。好，真拽，好。拉好，拉稳。拉好，捂住。一会儿进入。好。来，不是。地要有人做，农业要有人干，所以说咱这个作用呢，我现在这个承前启后的事，给老同志们给予服务，给这新技术们呢，把这些经验传授给他们，希望年轻人呢，把这个事业来做好的。
The itinerant combine operators have raked in huge profits for themselves and contributed to the availability of farming machinery and the development of the rural economy. Their inter-provincial model has inspired their counterparts in the new era. Agricultural reforms across China have altered traditional land management practices in positive ways. In Chongzhou City of Sichuan Province, agricultural managers are exploring how to introduce modern corporate governance to the countryside. Through this effort, they are revolutionizing rural cooperatives.
还有最重要，像跟一下就刚刚提到的，开户的维护，这个就非常重要。
The rainy season has brought a flurry of overwhelming challenges. To cope with them, Xie Jiao has increased her weekly meetings with farmers to every other day.
遇到一些困难啊，遇到一些问题啊，这些全部的要留记录，全部把它留下来。
Xie Jiao graduated from university with a major in e-commerce. She used to have a high-paying job in Chengdu City, but now she's working in the fields.
其实从小，然后特别是父母，然后对我的期望是什么？就是要摆脱农村，然后走到城市。
But to her surprise, her father changed his mind because of the emergence of a new occupation, agricultural manager.
也是因为机缘巧合，当时就在鼓励组建合作社，然后学习职业经理人，然后父亲就非常积极的就加入到这个团队里边，就成为了我们崇州乃至成都市的第一代的农业职业经理人。
In 2010, Zhongzhou experimented with the reform of collectively owned rural assets through a farmland shareholding system that focused on modern agriculture. This created a need for capable people that understood technology, management, and the market. Xie Jiao's father felt this presented an unprecedented opportunity.
现在农户的积极性也这么大，再加上那个政府政策也大力在推动，当时我觉得这个前景往后走的发展比较大的。
Agricultural managers work for the farmers, whose land represents their shares in the cooperative. The system incorporates modern corporate governance, with a council and a board of supervisors to oversee the performance of the manager. This system can greatly motivate agricultural managers, but it also puts them under tremendous pressure, as farmers are guaranteed a fixed annual income and dividends from the profits. After 2 years of hard work, Xie Jicheng had greatly increased the profits for local farmers. His success deeply impressed Xie Jiao. With the encouragement of her father, in 2013 she left the city with her husband to start a new career back home.
就看到了，觉得因为农业是一个新的东西，然后年轻人嘛，可以去尝试一下的，哪怕没成功，但是我尝试过。
Xie Jiao was under immense pressure as she had to start from scratch. As she saw it, her father's model of focusing on the crops involved a great amount of hard work and delivered limited income. She wanted to change the business model of the cooperative and expand into new territory, such as family farms.
比如说它这个肉偏少了，会不会是营养不良啊？
不是，像这个虾，它再脱一次口过后，就
屁股就要大一些了。14年第一次就养鱼，只有60几亩，那时候我们那个鱼就放下去，完全没管它，纯生态养殖。然后但到收的时候产量不理想，没赚到钱那一年是这样说。
But Xie Jiao didn't give up. She paid the villagers what they'd been promised with her own savings, and she started again. Following the advice of Ying Ruhua, a famous crayfish farmer, she decided to replace fish with crayfish. This would generate more profits, but at a higher risk.
因为这边我们这个地势有点矮，然后它那边的虾虾还要跑出来。
草要尽量多一点。像这种虾就 就漂亮。
看它的运营成绩。
我来端。
锅子马上就要熟了。
Xie Jiao's production plan won unanimous approval at the general shareholders meeting. Now at the mid-year meeting, Xie Jiao is updating the council on her recent progress.
就是人工成本。
把螺水通了，沟路修通了，我现在机械化操作，它就总数了，就人工就减少了。
把这逾期过了，然后还是要该花钱的、该修的，肯定还是要把这个问题先解决。
The year that she switched from fish to crayfish delivered huge profits and generous dividends to the farmers. Now, people are confident about their future because they believe in this unyielding and honest manager who is always ready to hear their ideas.
这个问题，但是也对我们合作社要求也很高。 最开始我们从300块钱一亩地，慢慢的我们就涨到400块钱一亩地，就加到500块钱加100块钱的一个分红。
Next, Xie Jiao wanted to modernize her agribusiness. With the help of her husband, she began to push for mechanized farming equipment.
最近咱这3个代你要换买新的那是可以。
It's time to apply pesticides. Xie Jiao's father has been helping her do the job with this crude device for years, but she's hoping to replace it with modern equipment.
这个机器在我们这里也算是普遍都是用这种机器，因为它很适应这种田间的这种灵山田拐，它的带子可以牵到300米、500米都行。工人些他们都是我们合作社的成员。因为在农机上，我们现在这个情况是烘干机可能够了，不用天。
要解决就是撒肥料跟那块。
有专门撒肥料解决的吗？
专门撒的话很贵哦，贵的话你不大划算的。
Xie Jiao's father thinks it's not the right time to invest heavily in machinery, but her husband argues that it's important to increase efficiency. The two conflicting ideas put her in a tough position. In the end, the two agree to follow Xie Jiao's advice, which is to keep using the device at hand for the time being. They can introduce new machinery next year when they've improved their cash flow and consolidated small land parcels.
他们按照这种现代的来，对不对？我呢，好像还有些还觉得比较现实一点子、传统一点子好。
Still, her father's conservative ideas have laid a solid foundation for her career. The countryside is brimming with opportunity, and Xie Jiao hopes to write her own success story with the vision and passion of the new generation.
我可能还是会想去找专业的人，然后我们来合作，然后就由专业的人来做专业的事情，然后一起把我们真正的要组建一个强大一点的团队。
After coming home, it took Xie Jiao 3 years to build a professional and well-functioning team that could lead the villagers to prosperity. In August 2016, she branched out into new territory by founding a forest land shareholding cooperative.
现在这个树还是归农户所有，就是说树是他们的，但是林下然后是合作社的，合作社就种植中药材，然后每年会给到100块钱的一个保底，就是说他们在林子里收入就有了，就改变了这10几年来的一个就荒着的一个情况。
Xie Jiao is determined to upgrade the Dawn Redwood Forest to a herb-themed ecotourism destination in the next decade. In just 4 years, by 2017 she and her father had brought more than 200 hectares of land under their management and employed about 100 people. They have not only increased the farmers' guaranteed income, but also paid out nearly 1 million yuan in dividends. The rise of agricultural managers has invigorated intensive farming in China. With favourable policies rolled out by the government, both agricultural managers and farmers have gained a substantial increase in income.
真的说，如果没有政府，真的就没有我们的今天。至少我是不会走上这条路，不会干成今天这个样子的。我们不是说要来农村挖掘更多的东西走，我们而是要通过自身的努力，然后给农村带来更多的东西。
Agricultural managers have revitalised rural areas through innovations in land management that serve the interests of farmers. They're bringing about a change not only to the land, but also to themselves.
Our past shapes who we are today, even if it does not define us. It is about knowing our roots, our heritage, what makes us, us. And only by looking back can we understand where our future may lie.
While Xiajiao in Sichuan has transformed traditional production by applying a modern business model, meanwhile in the village in Shandong province, e-commerce has delivered substantive changes to local farmers. In Wantou village, Shandong province, the farmers' market always opens early. Vendors from nearby villages gather here at 5 in the morning with their cattails. Wantou village has a long history of selling and weaving cattails. In the past, the products were sold in traditional markets, which delivered very little income to the villagers. No one could have imagined that one day something called e-commerce would bring revolutionary change to the village. In 2003, a few pioneering villages opened e-commerce stores. It was a brand new sales model and one that was eye-opening to their fellow villagers. Although already in his 40s, Jia Jintai was among the pioneers who seized the opportunity brought by the internet. He quit his job as a migrant worker and returned to his hometown to open his own online store.
麻烦查单号。他什么时间能到站上？今天能到吗？
他们乡下网点你知道吧？件少。
你先叫他给客户说一下，解释一下吧。他那边一直推。
With just a computer, the villagers' wicker handicrafts are quickly exchanged for cash. This has changed Jia Jintai's life completely.
比在外面打工是强多了，收入一天好的时候1000多块钱，我估计。 好，这叫做生意了，那叫干活了。实在的，就这么对比啊，对吧？
Internet marketing has led this village to prosperity. The top site owners can make more than 10 million yuan per year through online sales of cattail wicker crafts. So One Tao Village ended up on the list of China's first villages to succeed in internet sales, a so-called Taobao village. Business opportunities always bring competition. Many young people who were working in big cities chose to return to their hometown to start their own businesses when they became aware of the prosperous e-commerce. These young and open-minded new villagers have become the main online sales force. They've injected new energy into the village and brought with them new perspectives and business models, including large sales teams.
我们村里和我这么大的或者比我小的，很少在那工厂里上班的，基本都是在家里做淘宝。 并且赚钱也不少，到了17年，营业额就过1000万了。
Andong is facing a problem. Now many people are copying his top products and selling them on different internet sites. This has seriously affected his sales.
现在你数一下，有几家跟在我们后边的？
有七八款，有7、8款仿品，他这仿的太厉害。
比我们便宜这么多，待会儿你那个算一下，就是我们的成本，卖他这个价格能不能卖着？
根本不能，根本不能。咱们再不行啊，就把这个做一下解剖，
带上那个摄影的，咱一块儿过去，拍摄的让他去锯，咱直接把视频加到我们详情里去。
这也是一个很好的一个，
对吧？
对，很好的一个对比。
To maintain the competitive advantage of his star products, Andong decides to shoot a video to show potential customers the high-quality materials they use. There are nearly 600 online shops in One Tao village, and the woven cattail products they sell come from every family in the village. The rise of e-commerce has provided opportunities to many local families and altogether generates hundreds of millions of yuan annually for the village. Jia Jintai is selecting products for an order he's just received. Newcomers such as Andong have had a big impact on his online business. His family workshop has experienced a sizable decline in sales revenue.
我上过这，我上过。现在是有文化的卖的多了，就大学生先回来的那些比我们要强很多了，人家懂数据了。现在不懂了，现在竞争激烈，人主要是看数据了，落后了。
Facing the pressure of competition from the younger generation, Jia Jintai once again chose to make a change. 2 years ago, he contracted a parcel delivery outlet. While operating his own online store, he also provides logistics services for some of his peers in the village.
转型转这收货上面，他们大学生，他们卖的好了卖了，我给他们往一边说，我给他们发我们。
Jia Jintai and Andong are two representatives of the many new Chinese villages engaging in e-commerce. Statistics show that there are currently more than 600,000 online stores in rural China, with total annual sales exceeding 200 billion yuan. Today, China's villagers no longer rely solely on traditional farming or migrant work. In a way never seen before, they have changed their destiny, no longer living off the earth at the mercy of the elements. The tide of young people returning to the villages to start businesses has brought a variety of innovative business models to China's vast rural areas. Together, they've subtly changed the appearance of China's countryside. This is one of the busiest commercial districts in downtown Guangzhou. At the end of 2014, Tang Fei and his business partner Chen Dandan established a high-tech agricultural company here. They've pioneered a new kind of entrepreneurship in rural areas by combining technology and organic farming. The company's office sits downtown, but the rice they sell is grown at Tonghua Farm in the city suburbs. Tang Fei spends more than half of his workdays here. 4 years ago, he quit his high-paid job as an executive in the real estate industry and came here to grow organic rice. August is one of the busiest months at the farm, as it's when the previous crop of rice has just been harvested and a new crop is being planted. Tang Fei was a total greenhorn when he started the farm, but now he certainly knows his way around a rice paddy.
我学的是土木工程，然后也是国家1级注册的建造师。14年的时候呢，在一家香港的上市公司，负责整个全国大概16个项目的管理工作。正好14年我们家小女儿要出生了，作为一个父亲，那我说我能不能给我孩子吃到这样的产品？那时候我就想，那我能不能继续种？
Most of Tang Fei's young employees have a bachelor's or even higher degree. They chose to take advantage of the government's favourable policies in support of agriculture and to begin their careers in the countryside. Here they can help upgrade farming methods and improve their own lives too.
国家的美丽乡村政策，到乡村振兴的政策，其实在今天有很多大学生，他已经看到了中国发展的未来，因为国家有很多宣传，他们也看到了未来。所以今天我们的同事，其实我想，他们大多数是奔着这个未来来的。
These college graduates are responsible for the monitoring and smooth running of the farm, while hands-on farm work is contracted out to local farmer households, each taking care of up to 1 hectare of land.
我们一直是跟广东省农科院合作，其实我们在整个农田形成一套生态平衡的一套体系。比如说，我们会用到刺眼蜂去除虫，我们在虫还是虫卵的阶段，就用刺眼蜂把它给消灭。我们不用除草剂，过去我们曾经用鸭子除草，然后我们也会用到人工拔草。
Tang Fei's organic planting methods deliver a lower rice yield than the old methods delivered to the local farmers. However, they generate a much higher income.
"在过去，我们种杂药稻呢，1年下来水稻的那个销售价格是3000块钱左右。 我目前的每亩的产值达到了14400块钱，今天城市的消费者又需要这样好的产品，那我想在消费升级下，一端在提高产品的品质，一端在获得更好的产品，我想这个匹配是市场的一个刚需来的。
The team has set up a real-time monitoring and Internet of Things system on the farm so that in Guangzhou they can see and monitor data such as temperature and humidity. It also allows customers to check on the farm 24 hours a day through a mobile phone or computer.
你可以随时回来看看你们家的米是怎么种出来的。那在这个过程当中，我觉得你亲眼所见，我觉得这个比起我给你100张这个检测报告或者是任何的一种认证证书都要好。
Today, they've invited a special B&B planner from Guangzhou to visit the farm.
基本你看得到所有的地都是我们的这个范围，左边这一块是一块，然后中间有一条河，中间有一条河，那条河的对岸那块地也是的， 然后
山坡也是，
山坡也是，对对对对，山坡范围也是对。
山坡。
稻田边喝咖啡呀，这种感觉，这种混搭的感觉就上来了。这人回归稻田的感觉还是很深刻的。就第一次你可能不一定愿意下去，但一下去之后习惯了，就觉得哎呦，这感觉很爽啊。
Tang Fei and Chen Dandan are working on a plan to help local villagers open and promote their own B&Bs. They hope that the pastoral scenery and the many visitors the farm attracts can improve the income of the entire community. This plan has received strong support from the local government.
我们希望尝试着看看我们能不能够通过一片稻田，让一个村每户人均给我收入过10万。那我想，这应该是我们在这个乡村振兴的这个节点上，我们能做的一点点事情。
On weekends, the farm is bustling from early in the morning. Customers who buy the farm's rice can come here to get away from the city for free. This was part of the intention in opening the farm in the first place, to bring the countryside and the city closer together.
来，我们自然课堂开始哦！有想上自然课的举手，跟我一起来好不好？举手，好，那我们往这边来。
The weekly classroom of nature at the farm is one of its most popular events. As the mother of a child who lives in the concrete forest of the city, Chen Dandan knows exactly what these children like. In this friendly setting, she teaches them about different crops and takes them to collect wildflowers and observe insects. In this way, she can help the children experience nature, even if just for a little while. Tang Fei and Chen Dandan are experimenting with another pilot program in Bao'an district of Shenzhen. They planted rice on the rooftop of a large shopping mall. They call it the Sky Rice Field.
因为我们以前做的这样的一个自然课堂的过程当中，我们问米饭从哪里来，这个小朋友告诉我们从电饭锅里来。我们讲这是属于一个城市孩子的一个自然缺失症。那我们也希望把这样的一个真实的场景移动到城市当中，让我们城市的家庭、城市的这些孩子们能够更近距离的去认识，到底这个自然的稻田它是长什么样的。
每个人就是一株这么的往下插。
好，你插这一排来，小朋友来。
来，我给你定好。
The climate of Guangdong allows 3 rice crops per year. It means children here can observe the complete life cycle of rice 3 times a year. The Sky Rice Field is always full of people during both seedling planting and rice harvesting. Tang Fei and Chen Dandan drive from Guangzhou over an hour away to participate in these events. They enjoy seeing the children's muddy hands and feet and the happy smiles on their faces. This encourages them to keep going.
再给他一点。
After the event, Tang Fei and Chen Dandan rush back to Guangzhou. They both still have work to do. Supin, located on the sandbank island of Shamian in downtown Guangzhou, is a popular restaurant for young people. Tonight at Supin, Chen Dandan is holding a promotional event for a new rice milk product she's developed. She's mixed rice milk with different juices to make colourful drinks, hoping that their visual appeal will attract young customers. At the same time, Tang Fei is back in the office working overtime on the design of weeding robots. He's trying to apply technology to agriculture to make farm work smarter. Getting off work after 10 p.m. has become the norm for Tang Fei. For his daughter, this means her dad once again can't hug her before she goes to bed.
现在确实跟孩子在一起的时间是比较少了一些，孩子现在不是特别能理解。从最初开始只是为我们自己一家人，到现在我觉得我们其实承载了很多人的一些希望。
Their village conversion program has been put on the official agenda, so Tang Fei and Chen Dandan have begun the designing and planning. They're back on familiar ground, working with real estate, which they abandoned to take up organic farming.
过去我们讲乡村回不去的乡愁，这是过去。未来这个节点上，我想慢慢的，更多的乡村都是打开的，都拥抱着我们城市的家庭过来，拥抱着城市家庭能够待下来、住下来。
By advancing traditional agriculture through technology, attracting college graduates to go back to work in their hometowns, and helping local farmers improve their livelihoods, China is striving to bridge the rural-urban gap. Tsunghua district on the edge of Guangzhou has also witnessed a boom in highly educated young people returning to their less developed hometowns. They've returned from major cities in China and even abroad to start their own businesses in rural areas. The villages offer opportunities to fulfill their potential, and their life choices will also bring about huge changes to China's villages.
我的全过程都在这个改革开放的所有的过程中，我们更多的一直在做选择，选择上什么样的学校，想选择做什么样的工作。所以说，我想这是这个时代给我们最大的一个机遇。那我想未来的20年，我一直在拭目以待，包括我想作为一个参与者，去见证中国的乡村美丽化的这个过程，中国的乡村现代化的这个过程，中国的乡村这样一个小康社会实现的一个过程。
The small-scale peasant economy that prevailed in China for thousands of years is undergoing fundamental change in the new era. These entrepreneurs are changing the business models in local communities, and in this way, they are participating in this time of transformation and doing their bit to make a difference in rural China.
你们完全可以放手，不要让南北方地域的差异成为限制孩子们无限潜能发展的一个绊脚石。我叫邱慧，来自上海戏剧学院附属新世界实验小学，我是一名体育教师。2014年，国家有一个北冰南展的这样一个政策吧。选了周边的5所小学、5所幼儿园和1所中学，开展了冰雪进校园的项目。当时是我牵头吧，联络工作包括沟通啊、冰场的安排等等。现在是早上7点，我们去冰场进行安全检查。每一次学生上冰必须要做的一个常规工作，因为这个项目它是来源于北方，南方的家长呢对它不了解，他们感觉在这个冰上又穿着这样刀，感觉这个项目不是很友好，所以他们有一些顾虑和担心，怕孩子呢在冰上会受伤。
邱老师，邱老师，你好。
这个凳子是提供给我们胆子比较小的啊。开始清场了是吧？
我们课前都会进行一个清冰。
冰鞋啊，包括孩子的那种护具的准备啊，我们都要一一检查。 为了让孩子保证能在冰上更多的时间去参与冰上的这种体验，基本上是让家长在家里把孩子的护膝、护肘穿戴好。来，好，我们出发了。这样到了冰场，主要的重心就放在穿鞋上。听到广播里说了吗？脚抬起来，好。好滑是吗？那你原地走，走起来就不滑了，可以吗？孩子们有几种情况的一种运动能力啊，可能比较强。这种孩子呢，他一上冰就很喜欢啊，慢慢的能滑动起来。那第二种孩子呢，根本就没办法站上去，就感觉心里有一种害怕的。摔过一次，然后就害怕了是吗？你能坐在这个冰上，先尝试一下吗？眼睛看前面，马上到。你刚刚一个人走得很好，把你放在这个上面好吗？放松放松。啊，等你想上去，我们再上去。信任邱老师吗？信任我，那给我一次机会。哎呦，真好，安全的坐进去。那今天就成功了呀，能上冰了。我很想穿冰鞋，从来没有体验过在这个冰上那个滑翔的感觉。2015年开始学生上冰，没想到的是第一次上滑雪道的时候，没有控制好，摔倒受伤了，右膝盖内侧韧带撕裂，然后就是也没办法穿冰鞋上冰。但是我从来没想过要放弃。从2015年到现在7年了，大概有2000多名孩子经过了这样一个训练。校队的话呢，有300-400个孩子。北冰南展就是北方的一种项目，引进到我们南方来，给这些南方的孩子增加了一些运动的一些不同的体验和方式，而且我们的孩子其实也能很好的在这些项目上有所表现。我自己也会尽我最大的所能，为我们更多的孩子提供这样一个冰雪的平台，实现他们的冰雪梦想。